you're passionate, you're trustworthy, you're conversational radio 95.1 Nigeria in Abuja. Welcome to Hard Facts. I hope your day is going great. Today was the 28th of January 2025. Someone said I did not make the mistake of writing 2024 at any point this year. That just makes it something extra special. I didn't either. I don't know if you did, but yeah. It's been quite an interesting start, and the momentum is still building, and the interestingness, that is, even though the month is fast tapping out. But if you're still one of those people who run into people and still say Happy New Year, you need to stop, honestly. Someone actually, it was back and forth argument as to when is the deadline for wishing someone a Happy New Year. I'm like, just maybe a few days after the New Year, if it exceeds a week. By the time you get to week 2, it just needs to be a very occasion where maybe you haven't seen the person in a long time and you just feel like, all right, this is the only way to break the ice. If not, I promise you, first week, first 10 days into the new year, stop with a Happy New Year. Most importantly, when you've received the first alert for the month, what are you Happy New Year into? So it's over. You've lost the opportunity of saying Happy New Year to anyone if you haven't said it until this moment. The year is not new anymore. A lot has happened and is happening. So the number of tanker accidents we've had this year that you're still Happy New Year in, you've been talking and dealing with quite a lot. So yeah. Thank you. I'm not here to complain. Starting off my show with complaint, Abby. I hope that's not how it's going to go through to the end of the show. Someone said yesterday, Kim, I had a good laugh on the Patriot Corner where we were forcing people to be patriotic. It wasn't me forcing people to be patriotic. I was just saying we need to just see things differently. You know, sometimes it's how the outlook to things that would shape how you react, you respond, and you expect at the end of the day. So it wasn't me badgering. I doubt anyone felt compelled or forced yesterday. Did you? I'm looking straight into the camera. Did you? All right, I doubt it. All right, talking about camera, we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and at Nigeria Info Abuja on YouTube. My name is Kimberly Badu. I'll be here till 7. Call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the Fellow, or Chanya One, Madam Speaker, and I'll say yes to them all. Let's start off with the big 3 stories driving conversation. Well, the stories that made the court for us. We're meant to have an amazing guest, Mr. Tony, join me in the studio, but in the life of a journalist, last minute was something came up and he wouldn't be able to, but would reschedule and hopefully have him sometime, maybe next week on the show. Okay then, so looking at some of the stories for today that got Nigerians talking, El-Rufai is in the news and, well, it's just always very interesting when people leave power and they become the most critical of what's happening in government, with governance, with their state and all of that. And then you start to really wonder, did you do anything exceptional while you were there? Well, you'll not be too hard on El-Rufai. El-Rufai had his very many plus and some minuses. The minus would be the insecurity in the state. It kind of like overshadowed all of the infrastructural development and all, you know, the positive imprint that he left on Kaduna State at the end of the day. It just felt like, you know, there was just so much insecurity and so much, you know, concern as to how it was being managed. Was it being fair to all regions and all whatnot? He overshadowed it big time. But if you go to Kaduna State, I bet you'll be able to say, indeed, the man left some bit of legacy behind. So maybe it gives him the right to talk after all, doesn't it? Well, even those who did zero still talk and nothing stops them. Well, the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has blasted the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, accusing the party of straying from its founding ideals and fostering poor leadership. Interesting, yeah? Well, the ex-governor, while addressing a national conference in Abuja on strengthening democracy in Nigeria, labeled the state of governance and opposition in the country as a national emergency. El-Rufai, who shared the report on his X handle today, expressed concern over the absence of internal democracy and active party structure within the party. Quoted here saying, I no longer recognize the APC. No party organ has met in 2 years. No caucus, no neck, nothing. You don't even know if it's a one-man show, it's a zero-man show, he was quoted as saying. He condemned the quality of leadership emerging from political parties, blaming the situation on qualified candidate. You cannot afford to have illiterate, semi-illiterate, cunning people as your leaders. This is why we end up with poor leadership we have today. The former governor charged political parties to raise standard for candidates and delegates, stressing that the Constitution's minimum requirement of a secondary school certificate should not be enough for nomination, and lamented that the APC's founding goal of combating corruption, rebuilding the economy, and enhancing security have been abandoned. And he cited a poll that showed 75% of registered voters might abstain from the 2027 election. Erufai warned of a potential crisis. Well, reacting to Erufai's post, the special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on public communication and media, Daniel Bwala, queried the former governor's stand, asking if he would have held the same position had he remained in government or in cabinet. And I asked the same question too. Would he have held the same position and been very critical of government if he was still governor, or if he was giving an appointment, say a minister? By the way, a lot of people, thought he was going to make the quota as minister, but then there was a lot of under-dealing that happened. It's so intense enough for Erufai to wax lyrical on social media by quoting a Bob Marley song, It was not Turn Your Light Down Low. It was one of those other songs that sends about, a message like people can turn on you and stuff like that. The song is not coming to mind, but I know definitely was a Bob Marley. And he went quiet after that and resurfaced. Let's not forget that also a lot of panel interrogation as to his time as governor and spending and query of management or mismanagement of funds and all whatnot. So all of that is still happening. And then he's coming and he's registering his disappointment about the poor quality of leadership. But I'm asking quick, rapid questions here. Has the quality of leadership depreciated significantly compared to what it was, say, the past 9 years, when Erufai himself was actively in government? Would we say there's a major decay and decline in the quality of leadership? Would we say that political parties have deteriorated between then and now so fast enough for one to be critical of it? And do you think the former governor would have been this critical if he was still either in maybe appointed position at this point in time? Because, this question is with people when they leave office, all of a sudden they see the lights, they find their voice, and you start to really wonder, is it table manners? You can't speak while you're dining, but, when you're standing by the corner, you get to see clearly what's going on. Well, that's one of our big stories that we're looking at. This caller has been persistently waiting. Yes, hello.
Happy New Year.
I wish you same. No wonder. I was wondering who he was that was been calling from the minute I stepped in.
This year?
No. The minute I started the show. Where have you been, though? You disappeared.
It's not easy to get a guy for a game. Most especially on your show. Happy New Year.
I wish you the same, my brother.
Let me find it from as you say we should stop it. Thank you. This Sunday will be calling. I greet all the Nigerian family. Why you are a calling man. This is what you did to your and Jonathan. Why are they always power hunger? Why? He wanted to continue being relative with the national team. That's why he's angry. And make sure all of them gather their talking. Why was there? Did he say all this? Was it not the same people who are telling us that if people die in South Kaduna, they should come and tell him how many people die? That's where is the evidence? Can you see he's talking about insecurity? And this is the same people who gathered together in 2014, condemned Jonathan, all the media, all the newspapers, everybody would be jailed. He said that Jonathan should come and arrest him to see the world. Look at him today. Tinubu living. You people are the cause of our problem. You are part of the genesis of our problem.
All right.
Why to Tinubu to today? What is the achievement of everybody Kaduna? The difference in South Kaduna is there today than where you are here. I don't know why these people are. He know who he's talking to. He know the gullible word that will fall for him. We will not fall for you. You people will not come back. Because you are the one that make us suffer like this. I think who is talking good today now. All these whites have been there hiding.
All right.
And they not the part of the people who get all the property in Nigeria. How many poor masses did they require? His wife asked the same question when his son was insulting the government of the region. Let's assume your father is in government.
All right, Adewumi, thank you very much.
Do not buy these people.
Thank you, Adewumi. If you don't know the policy now, we keep it shorter because we want as many people as possible to contribute. And is it me or is the phone line a tad problematic this afternoon? You could hear the whole back, right? And the distortion. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Yaya the head boy, Auntie Kim.
Go ahead, Yaya, the head boy. Talk to us.
Yes, yes, ma. I saying the party has no internal democracy, stuff like that. We are just in the morning. We are having discussion on the kind of political parties we have in Nigeria. That every politician, when he lost out, when he don't have employment, he has not been appointed as minister and so on. And that is where you need to see that the others in that same party don't have ideologies. But all of them are the same. There's nothing like ideologies that these same people have. Everybody just looking after his own pockets. For him, vividly that he was rejected to be a minister or any other appointment. Now he's started saying that no internal democracy in APC and so on and so on. So it is not because of the good of Nigeria that he's bringing this.
All right.
Because of his pocket and because of his pocket. That's just my submission this afternoon. So no one should take his words as serious as anything. Thank you, Manchiki.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Let's look at impact on some of Donald Trump's policy on our country, Nigeria. Don't forget that just immediately after the order was given about halting, contribution or being a part of the World Health Organization, we try to look at what the ripple effect will be for a lot of African countries. Well, one direct one that is coming out is that the U.S. government has halted the support for HIV treatment in Nigeria and other developing countries following an order by President Donald Trump. The U.S. State Department stopped the disbursement of funds from the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. It's called PEPFAR, a program for HIV program in Africa and developing countries for at least 90 days. The action originates from President Trump's executive order on foreign aid, which he signed on his first day in office. And the order instructed all government agencies managing foreign development assistance programs to halt the disbursement of funds. As a result, nearly all U.S. global health funding was halted immediately. Now, the NPR reported that the PEPFAR has stopped disbursing funding and is likely to suspend operation for at least 3 months if an exception is not made for the program in the coming week. With an annual budget of $6.5 billion, PEPFAR delivers HIV/AIDS treatment to more than 20.6 million people, and it has helped save lives and curb the spread of the virus. So the U.S. State Department fact sheets show that PEPFAR has saved the lives of an estimated 26 million people since inception. Now, let's look at how it affects us directly. More than 2 million Nigerians currently live with HIV, with many of them benefiting from the PEPFAR. As one of the countries with the highest HIV burden globally, Nigeria relies heavily on programs such as PEPFAR for access to life-saving medication and healthcare infrastructure support. Now, over the years, this group has contributed over $6 billion to support Nigeria's national HIV/AIDS response. So, the suspension or permanent hold to the program is likely to affect efforts to control HIV in Nigeria. Nigeria needs to start having these conversations to saying, if we're not getting from, one of our critical donors at the end of the day, what's the fallback plan? What's the alternative plan? Where do we source the funds to ensure that these medicines are available, antiretroviral drugs, the HIV education and awareness that is required, and perhaps maybe interrogate how we've been doing things. Because it's a different thing if you have monies coming in, but now that the supply is reduced and we have to depend on either well-meaning Nigerians, get other donor sources or the government to fund it, you might want to recalibrate how you go about this particular response to HIV and AIDS in the country. This is an important disease. It has its own day, World AIDS Day. Is it the 1st or the 10th of December? Sometime in December, Joe. So it tells you that it is one that you're not going to soft pedal on because any attempt to stop, reduce can... The world has tried to contain it significantly. At one point, Nigeria was always in the news. There are certain states that there was so much hype around the capital. The capital would have found out that it was basically about funding and not really because their numbers were that high. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to manage the situation in Nigeria, keep the numbers low as possible, continue with the awareness. And let's hope that the country itself is thinking of what to do to close the gap. Now, what do we do at this point in time? You can share your take with me. Hello?
Hello, Okora.
Yes, you are welcome.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Oh dear.
I tell you, I agree with you.
You know, okay, I'm so sorry. I had to drop your call because it's really heavily distorted. And I don't think it's just you because all the callers who've called through our regular phone lines, it's been the same. So for now, can you just call me via WhatsApp until I understand figure out what the situation is? Just call via WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 0809 9930 137. Hello?
Hello, Kim.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Hola Indomitable. I'm calling from Lugbe.
Go ahead, Ola.
No, Kim. I'm from El Rufai and I'm actually a little bit of the agreement made at the beginning of the program.
Oh dear.
When you said, am I with you?
Yeah,
Hello?
but your line isn't the clearest. Hello? Oh dear. Okay, you have to call back. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Kim.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kim.
Welcome to the show.
This was a Max for me.
Talk to us, Gwaza.
Thank you. Yeah, concerning the executive order of Donald Trump to halt the disbursement of funding for the WHO. As far as emergency is concerned, it's involved. You should just think twice. The HIV antiretroviral drugs, they are very critical for world health today. So if you shock the world by saying a kind of American version of subsidy gun, it will really take life. So that's a very critical sector that he really needs to think twice. But again, nations should begin to look at over-reliance of America as a kind of injustice that they should address among themselves. Do you know America with a population of just over 300 million? America is funding WHO with $500 billion. I mean, $500 million or so. While China is doing 130 something. Understand? With a population of over 1 billion. So it's this thing is not balanced, and the consuming nations begin to think twice and begin to take responsibility to matter for their citizens. It's not all about America, it's all about the superpowers, but it's also about ourselves. Let us reduce corruption, let us have developmental targets. To drive ourselves out of this mess. Otherwise, we continue to have this shock with Trump and more leaders who are coming on board.
Thank you, Gwaza Max.
Across the world that someday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We just have one line, so don't stay too long on the line so that we take as many people as possible. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Oracle.
Welcome to the show.
Yesterday I tried. In fact, your line has becoming a hot cake now.
Uh-huh.
In fact, to get you, it's not longer. My name is Salasi.
Welcome, Salasi.
Hello?
Go ahead, Salasi. I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk about El Rufai. El Rufai shouldn't talk, because he couldn't get the appointment as a minister. Now in fact, that time he said there's no elders in the north. He was in kind of talking tough to people, in kind of seeing people, because he believed that he would become the minister. And at the end, he was disappointed. So what will El Rufai tell Nigerians now? So whatever that be, let it be. Because he's not part of the government. He shouldn't be coming and be talking all these things. He shouldn't be talking war. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Sorry, I didn't know you picked my call.
Go ahead, sir.
Kim. Hello?
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Hola Indomitable. I was trying to make a joke of, out of what you said at the beginning of this program. about greeting somebody Happy New Year in January. Kim, I think in March or April you can wish anybody Happy New Year. Do you know why?
There should be a deadline to all this Happy New Year thing. All right.
Okay.
I thought it was ridiculous to hear Happy New Year on the 28th.
But let me tell you this: if you hit jackpot, if you hit your millions in March or in April, I mean legal jackpot, legal millions in March or April or even in August, Happy New Year to you. What is in Happy New Year when you don't have money in your hand, you don't have money in your pocket, you don't have money anywhere, and somebody saying Happy New Year? So whenever you hit your jackpot, Happy New Year to you. Thank you, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So for you, money measures the whole Happy New Year-ness. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
This is Pastor Friday Godwin.
Pastor Friday, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Well, a very interesting topic. Trump's executive order, just like he's saying, America first, America first. Trump's executive order, I pray that he reverses his decision on withdrawing from the World Health Organization, also the support he gives to other countries, especially developing countries, for immunization and also support for HIV patients and all of that. But the question we want to ask is that for how long would the African leaders depend on this aid? For how long? To the best of my knowledge, we talk of virtually all immunizations are sponsored by Bill Gates, like polio and other international organization. So is it that the African leaders don't care about their people and all of that? So I think this what Trump is doing. There's good in it in a way. It's a wake-up call for African leaders to look inward and see how we can help our people. We can't continue to depend on aid. I'm very sure that he's going to reverse some of this decision, but at least it's a wake-up call to Africans, more especially.
All right.
Nigeria is a big country. We are rich to be able to at least sponsor some of those programs. So that is just my call. I want to.
But sometimes when you are dependent on it comes from somewhere, you want to just ensure that you focus on other priority. So it's for us now to reconsider.
Exactly. So my own appeal to our president is to see how, in the interim, the period is 90 days, and within these 90 days, if I know typical of the Nigerian government, they will leave the people to fate. Those who can maybe afford that, but then it's I think it's an appeal that if the president can maybe come in to see how they can cover this space before perhaps maybe the reversal, and they're also looking forward if they can. There are other diseases, tuberculosis and other diseases that I think we need. As a country, we need to wake up. We can't continue like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Truly do appreciate. Now let's listen to what the presidential candidate of the Labour Party has to say. That would make for our third story.
Whatever happens with democracy affects the citizens. It affects their daily living. It affects the future of their children. So we must all now get involved to make it work, because it is not working in Nigeria today. What's your comment? Whether we are going to do coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country. Because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now. So the issue of money.
All right, talking about not being interested in a coalition, there are a lot of Nigerians who've just been waiting with bated breath, just saying, is there going to be a formidable force to just wrestle power out of the APC? Well, it doesn't look like it. And the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, who, by the way, his party is going through a storm of its own, as much as you want to look at what's happening within the PDP, he's saying maybe that shouldn't be priority for now, but we need to see how we can address setting fundamental. As a politician, that's quite an interesting perspective to look at, because a lot of people seem to think the only way you can do it is when you get it out of the hands of the people who are in government, which is quite interesting, because I remember a few years down the road, a lot of Nigerians thought the only way you could fix Nigeria was to get it out of the hand of the PDP into the APC. And now with the APC, I'm thinking, how do we get the power out of the APC and give to who exactly? Back to the PDP? Or a new coalition, or new individual? Who exactly is going to salvage the situation? There's going to be a wager. How is that going to happen? But there are a lot of people who seem to think the next best move is to get out of this party into another. But which is it? And they're saying the only way that can happen is if we have a third force of some sort, a new political party, a merger of some sort. I've heard a lot of critics say, but it doesn't look like that is top priority for two of the biggest opposition we have at the moment. Or maybe it's just a smoke screen they're walking behind the scene. But in Nigeria, if there's any such move going on, I tell you, there's always one man who will betray them and tell you something of this nature is in the works. So it doesn't look like that's happening at this point in time. So for a lot of people, they're saying, why don't we hold the government we have in place, demand the very best of governance from them, and if they do improve on themselves, well, we give them the license to continue talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And if they do not, God help us, let's hope that we can find a good fallback plan to get back to in 2027. But it doesn't matter how you look at it. One thing is for sure. We're dealing with politics and governance, juggling it at the same time, because for every move and every policy and every initiative, it's all about the next poll and the next election. So, are you really concerned at this point in time that none of these political parties are talking about a coalition of some sort? When is the earliest possible time, if they're really going to think about it, to get to work on it already? Some would say as early as yesterday, but a good number of them are still saying, nah, we're not doing that. We're not talking about that. No such thing is happening at this point in time. So I advise you, hold the government that you have at hand accountable, demand the very best from them, because we should be focusing more on governance than politics. Hello?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Adeola Victor from Bisalagi.
Go ahead, sir.
I think El-Rufai should be advised to keep quiet for some time, because as a matter of fact, he dined and wine with APC for many years. He benefited tremendously and politically from APC. So for him now to come out, because things are falling apart and the center cannot hold, and therefore he now believes he cannot condemn APC. He was part and parcel of those who put this country in a mess. He worked underground for many years and they messed up this country. So, El-Rufai and his co-traveler to park where? To go and sit down, park where? I really like what Buhari did in the 1990s, Babangida. But I like it to be reintroduced again, so that some politicians must be banned from taking part in the politics. They have run out of ideas. They have nothing to work. We should stop all this hypocrisy and democratic system around. They are old and they don't have everything to offer. So as for Trump, you see, I think African countries and other countries in the world are learning one or two lessons. They should go and feed their country. They should go and put in place things that will make them to develop. Because if they continue to rely on advanced countries for development, they will continue to see disappointment.
Thank you very much. Let's hear you next. Hello.
Good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Peace.
Go ahead, Justice of Peace.
In terms of Ob's comment, I think it's very right. We don't really need any coalition in order to restore power. what really makes PDP to lose power in 2015 was because people were tired. Nigerians were tired of PDP activities, of their corrupt activities and all that. So they just came to be. It's not really because there was a kind of Buhari and Tinubu coming together that really makes it. Nigerians were fully tired of PDP's activities. And I can stand by it today. If the elections are allowed to count, votes are allowed to count, comes to 27, APC did not change, they will see no light to escape to anywhere. Nigerians will not let them be. And I can bet you, and I will remind you again that even in 2023 election were allowed to count as people voted, they wouldn't have seen the light of the day. So for now, coalition or no coalition, it makes no meaning. If we have a bad INEC in place, coalition or no coalition, it takes us nowhere.
All right.
I think we should still continue with what we have. We hope that Redeemer will come soon.
All right.
Thank you.
We're always looking for a man to do the redeeming, yeah? Just one singular individual. Isn't that too much weight on one person at this point? But Justice of Peace, thank you very much. Hello. Yes, welcome. This is who now, sir? Oh, Julius, go ahead. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Now, we see, we're talking about Trump now. It said, I watched his inauguration speech. What he said was American first, right? But in Africa here, we only have people who are hitting the ground running. You hit the ground running. You don't prioritize your citizens first. If they ask you a question, what you have to say, you hit the ground running first. And El-Rufai, about El-Rufai, let people just keep quiet and let people who know how to lead, who know how to rule, to talk. Because I can remember when El-Rufai was the minister of FCT, I know the damage he has done to so many people, damage, demolition everywhere, I don't just know whether I could call that one wickedness or something like that. There was no development, nothing. It's just destroying people's life, destroy people's house, connected people land. Up to date, I'm telling you now, there's a place
all right.
Back then, during El-Rufai time. They demolished everywhere. They didn't build anything. There was nothing like development there. Everywhere was
But what if the place was just meant to be a green land, to just be an open space for a bit more cross ventilation? What if that was the original plan?
No.
Now, just asking.
What if I did? I tell you, so many people lost their life.
Oh dear.
It's shock because you just coming back from work, you see your house with your property and everything destroyed.
All right.
Even waiting for you to take anything from inside the house. Then he's coming out now to say what.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, my sister.
Good afternoon. I'm all right, and you?
Good, I'm fine. My name is Abamadesa.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you. Listening to my fellow Nigerians when we contribute to, especially national matters, it says a lot the way and the angle where we come from. Like some of us now, accusing El-Rufai of doing this, doing that. But what he's doing at the moment is the right thing. Yes, he was part of the APC people, but nothing stopped him from repenting from the bad and start doing good. Please listen to his message, not the messenger. He can talk to be a good guy now. We need people like that.
But have you often wondered, hello, sir, I would give you extra time for interjecting. Have you often wondered why they kind of say these things after and not when they're in? Can't you still find your voice when you're still in government? Is it impossible to find your voice while you're still in power?
There's what we call table manners. When you are there, so we should expect them to observe table manners. But whenever any of them come to tell us one or two things, especially when they are fighting against themselves, it should be be in our favor. What we need to do is to make use of those information they are giving to us and we strategize and work, but not just to come and be telling me because to fight this wrong, this and that, we cannot be useful again. No. If God handle us like that, in fact, I don't think any of us will know remain alive to be talking as we are. Thank you, my sister, for this privilege. God bless you.
God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. Let's look at some comments quickly. Mike Mfong Sr. on Facebook says, Mr. Peter Obi's statement is quoted out of context. Oga, I played a clip that he said and spoke himself. How out of context can that be, sir? You don't understand the technology to which he spoke? Well, let me just read the rest of it and see what you're getting at. What he's saying is he's not interested in coalition just to grab power for grabbing sake. Okay, so I'm the one who misconstrued it, yeah? If that's the motive to grab power for grabbing sake, then he's not interested. But coalition to save Nigeria and rescue Nigeria from the claws of the APC, you imply this at this point in time. That's what he means. Please, let's explain it and put it in proper context so mischief makers and haters of obedience don't run to town with falsehood and malicious remark about Peter Obi. Okay, Mike, so personally, it's me that you feel took out of context what he said. So with the multiple interpretation, you've given yours. And MK says, so have a nice celebration. Thank you very much. Joseph, I see you. And Demshak Lot, Happy New Year. You're doing a very good job. Demshak, I started this show complaining about people who wish people Happy New Year on the 28th of December. You received your paycheck for the month and you're still Happy New Year in me. But thank you very much nonetheless. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
Our digital oracle.
I greet you, sir.
Welcome to duty again.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ojo, the next president.
Ojo, I like your style. 19 seconds to do greetings. Now you have 50 seconds left. Go ahead.
No, you know me, I don't talk too much.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as regards the M5, it's now that we discovered that APC is not having internal democracy. But when he was there enjoying all the things he can enjoy as much as possible, he couldn't remember that. When he returned to as governor in second tenure, and he used a Muslim ticket, is that one internal democracy? With all the shenanigans he did in his second tenure as governor of Kaduna, is that one internal democracy? Under APC, under its government, honestly speaking, we do have a very upright and a politician that has integrity, that can stand with his word, even 10 years, 15 years later. Now he's condemning APC with all he has achieved under APC. Anyway, it's when they are having their way that the party is working. If they are no longer having their way, the party is bad. Whatever he wants to manipulate, he should start doing it now. He will not get that he's looking for. God has given him enough opportunity to do the right thing, and he has failed humanity. So he will not get another opportunity again. I don't know how long or when our politicians will get things right in this country. The country is going down every day.
All right, sir. Okay. All right. Your tempo has gone up a tad. Let's end it here before it gets to a realm that will be out of control. But, how can you say someone cannot have another opportunity? Never can tell. Never say never with these things. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. You're welcome.
I'm Mrs. Jeremy from Cuba.
Good to have you on the show.
Yes, happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
About everything. Kim.
Yes.
You know that if they are not on power, if they are not in power, you know that they always talk anyhow. Everybody was thinking Tinubu will give him chief of staff, not even minister.
He shared that with you?
One time.
He told you that?
I watched him one time. He said he doesn't want minister seat. I watched that one. I saw it on his Twitter. I saw that one. So that guy was just aiming chief of staff, and they didn't give him that chief of staff. Now APC has problem. Every five ton government workers in Kaduna, most, especially primary school, into contract. You know that almost all of them are being paid 5,000 a salary. You a graduate. I have my younger ones that are working there. So what is he saying? It's because they don't bomb me on one side. They use him to get the Muslim ticket. And they bomb him. In fact, I love Tinubu with all my soul. If you know I love Tinubu, I love Tinubu like my late father. May God bless Nigeria.
All right. Okay. And on YouTube, Oludade Abiodun says, good afternoon. Erufai is saying what he's saying because it's out of favor. So I don't blame him. I know if he was giving an appointment, he'll be saying all of these things. And Godwin Gimba says, good afternoon, Madam Kim. Lanre, I see you. I see you also. And Ayuka Danladi, I greet you. Politics in Nigeria has turned into something else. Someone says, Kim, can you please help me find out from Erufai, the committee he chaired on restructuring of Nigeria, was he not the one that headed that committee and said they were going to find the operational definition of restructuring that Nigerians were calling for at that point in time? What happened? No update, no accountability to the people, and yet he speaks. Boy, apparently Matthew wants to hear nothing from the former governor of Kaduna State. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, my dear. Yes, welcome to a country where the number of political parties is more than the number of states. Welcome to a country whereby anything that goes up never comes down. Welcome to a country where if you are in party A and you commit sin, when you switch to party B, your sins are forgiven. What I was saying, somebody come on and say, you love this one. That is his opinion, sir. That is his opinion. I will not go against that. But it's as if it's just not in this country. That's why he's just in all those. Let's just forget about politics and fix the right thing. Don't tell me, see, they say monkey na monkey. Even though you bath and carry and travel overseas, banana will still be very sharp. You are switching from party A to party B. Doesn't make the and that the same person. That the same. So don't tell me about whatever. I say what Thank you very much. We'll be calling back.
All right, Julius, thank you very much. Let's hear this caller quickly.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kimberly.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Roberto, and I'm calling you message
Oh dear, your connection is really poor.
Hello. Good evening, Kim.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Crystal clear, sir, but we have limited time, so you have to get to your point quickly.
Okay. On Erufai. In fairness to Erufai, when President-elect that time, Tinubu was going to thank you, going to stay to thank. In a birthday reception, he begged the Kaduna State people that they should appeal to Erufai to accept a ministerial it was on television. Yes, he did it because Erufai had intended that he didn't want any appointment with Mr. President said, no, Erufai, you must work in my cabinet. It is true, it was there on the distance. But the issue of whether APC is not whatever, there are things going normal. Things are not going normal because a lot of time I don't want to talk thank you, man.
All right, thank you very much. Apparently, no commercial break, so we might as well take another one. Thank you, Mr. Tom, for being right on the clock. Let's hear you next. Hello. Hello? Okay. Looking at messages, Erufai is the man that fears no man. Whatever they say about him, I listen and analyze what he says. The message is both important to me and not the messenger. APC has been dealing with Nigerians in a manner that is never envisaged. The APC government is not doing so much for Nigerians or Nigeria at the moment. They will reap what they sow in 2027, says Emmanuel Indube. Hello.
Hello, I greet you.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Donatus from Niger State.
Go ahead, Donatus.
Everything in life has time. I think Erufai, Malabi, and the rest of them, they mismanage their time. Tomorrow, Malabi will come on advance of. You understand? I don't go for we should stop relying on all these European countries, America, and the rest of them. Use what you have to take care of your people. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. And Emmanuel Radio Message D9, Joy is seated for the news in a bit. Will join her. The same reason why Nigeria is not progressing fast and might not, as usual, is because of the distorted system that allowed politicians with no ideologies and qualities of good leadership to pilot the affairs of a country. Are we expecting magic to happen when this is the case? What will bring about change is not about party coalition or merging political parties. We all know, okay, people who can do the job, but the corrupt system will not allow real individuals who can get the job done be there. We've been accepting crap over the years. That's why we keep discussing the same. Oh boy. See, you're making me edit too much your language. Who are you again, Seth? That you are writing all these things and I have to look for the right radio-friendly words to use. But thank you. Rufai criticizes boss, PMB, even when I guess the president's Naira redesign because of Tinubu. Enough of this misinformation. Mohammed Musa from Gariki. Who is misinforming who now exactly? And I have followed up with the U.S. project in Nigeria. And for years, the U.S. has been pumping billions of naira into healthcare in Nigeria. It's not surprising to me that Trump will go ahead and suspend HIV health funding in Nigeria. As part of the PEPFAR project, the ACE, Aspire, RISE project in Nigeria likely to suffer paucity of funds with Donald Trump's decision to cut funding. This is saddening for Nigeria that is battling poor healthcare challenges. Those that supported Trump in Nigeria will bite their fingers for their choices, says Charles Mbad. All right, while people are biting the fingers, let's join Joy for the news at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.